going on, everybody? Welcome out to our 6 o'clock live stream. It's good to see some people already in chat. You can see Justin and I are back doing one more show of the separated at the shop, and it's my fault today. So, has nothing to do with weather. Um, Hope everybody's having a good, happy week, or had a good weekend, I should say. We got a pretty cool topic to talk about tonight that I think is actually a good thing for tattooing. Although there are some questions behind it on how does it really work and is it really going to be effective? Um, if we could, you know, figure this out, it might actually turn out to be a pretty decent thing. We're also going to take a look at some new, was it tattoo recognition technology? And
DRT,
I'm pretty
baby.
sure none of us are going to like that because it sounds to me it's a lot of Big Brother stuff going on. But we'll talk about it. We'll kick it around and we'll go from there. How you doing, Justin?
I'm doing good. So people don't know this, but my monitor is actually a TV, my computer monitor. So I'm on my tablet and I'm watching us on YouTube at the same time. And there is a delay. I didn't realize that. There's a delay.
Yeah, there is a delay. That is basically a safeguard for us if somebody comes in here and starts blasting some stuff that
Yeah.
should be on the internet or whatever. We can clip it. All right, you're going. But yeah, it's a slight delay. You don't need to really look at your screen until we do some of the documentation that we have.
Yeah.
Um, I did pull the actual bill from Tennessee, the state of Tennessee. From what I understand, it is only officially in Tennessee right now, but they're talking about trying to make this bill active across the United States. And I believe there are two states that are already looking into it. It was be Oklahoma, and I can't remember the other one, but it is in the article. We're also going to show a quick clip of that news report that I found where they talk about it. And like I said, we'll get into the second half of the show. Will be around the tattoo recognition technology, and that gets a little deeper and a little bit more Big Brother-ish. So it's good to see everybody's hanging out. Before we start, though, I wanted to remind everybody we talked about this on Wednesday night. I'm not going to do Wednesday nights anymore, but also we did start the tattoos and review community group on Facebook. I started it today. Justin, I sent you an invite to it. Uh, just a cool place for us to hang out. We could talk about whatever, share pictures of tattoos, maybe something you did, Justin, throw it on there. Mondo, does a new tattoo, he throws it on there, or any of us get a tattoo. We could also do tattoo history and other topics in there, but it doesn't have to be stay strict to tattoo history. Like we have to kind of keep the channels and the socials. So it's just a place to hang. Um, Good to see some people. Let's get rolling into this bad boy. So I found this first, and then Justin actually found the the second part with the tattoo recognition thing, and that's kind of scary. So let me go ahead and share this page. Let's watch the news article first, and then we'll get into the actual bill. Uh, Make sure I'm sharing it and make sure me and Justin are in there, so all ready to go.
Here.
Whether it's finalizing the art
Maybe the date here and across here.
or following health regulations, tattoo artist James Carreras has a lot to think about.
Here we go. Ready?
And now state lawmakers want him to also look out for potential human trafficking victims.
People get all kinds of tattoos I might think are strange, all the time. So I wouldn't really recognize one, I don't think, without the training.
Under the proposed Ink of Hope Act, every year when Carreras gets his tattoo license, he'd need to view an hour-long video learning what tattoos or brands traffickers are forcing their victims to get, and how artists can report potential victims. Trafficking survivor Noelle Gomez testified in favor of the bill.
My trafficker was present with me and a few other victims, and it was very obvious that we were being trafficked. But the artist did not know what probably to do.
Meeting with those women that have survived almost unimaginable circumstances to most of us, they deserve every bit of hope that we have to give.
Representative Rule based her bill on a similar law in Tennessee after hearing from a survivor in Linden.
It was such a stark statement when she said, we don't talk to people. The people we got to see would be maybe a quick trip to Walmart, but usually not by ourselves, and the person who was doing our tattoos.
I would like.
So there you go. We're not going to watch the whole thing just for copyright strikes and all that other good stuff. I figured that was a good spot to stop it, though, because she made a pretty powerful comment right there that the only people that they see are the people, maybe if they go to the store, and the tattoo artist. Now, this is where some of the questions start to come into play for Justin and I. And we kind of looked at it. All right, well, let's look at the actual bill. Let's look at this. Let's look at that. And it did answer some of our questions. So if I go back over here and I go to the bill, I'm going to share it on my screen. It's going to be tough for you guys to probably see that, but we're going to start at the top. So basically, this is a Tennessee law that went into place as of January 1st. This is now going to it's going to require Tennessee tattoo artists to go to a 1-hour session. It's free, it's mandatory, and it's paid for by a nonprofit organization in Tennessee that is trying to get people to recognize human trafficking. The whole 1-hour course focuses on how to recognize the signs of human trafficking, reporting signs of human trafficking to the Tennessee Human Trafficking Resource Hotline. Now, the person who holds this license under this part as of December 31st, 2025, which, like I said, it just went into play on January 1st, who is renewing this license pursuant to this part shall successfully complete by December 31st of 2028 up to 1 hour of online in-person training. I'm sorry. So it looks like they are giving these guys and girls 2 years to complete this course. And it, like I said, it is no cost to the people taking the course. Now, here's where some of the questions come into play. Justin and I basically said, well, what's the penalty and who's at fault and who's being held responsible? And I think we're going to answer some of these questions right here. A person who holds a license under this part and the employer of that person who responds to signs of human trafficking with a client refers a client to resources for victims of human trafficking or fails to respond or refer is not civilly or criminally liable for these actions or inactions. So there you go. That was one of the first questions that Justin and I had. So if you don't report it or you don't catch it, what happens to you? Now, if you're the tattoo artist and you do see it and you do call it out, then what happens to you legally or possibly financially? One of the bigger things that came up when Justin and I were hashing this out was, take a shop like Justin as an example. He's a one-man shop. 3 or 4 dudes roll in and they have a girl and they want her to get tattooed. Justin doesn't have an opportunity to pick up a phone and call somebody to be like, hey, we have such and such here. So, you know, that puts him in a bad spot. Now, obviously, you do it after the fact, but while the person's there in the building, not going to happen more than likely. Now, if you're at a shop that has multiple artists, I'm assuming you could be like, hey, I got to go do this stencil, tell the other artist, they could call blah, blah, blah. So what are you thinking?
Or you could you could definitely take a picture of the person getting tattooed if you suspected it. And I imagine that there's databases that you can submit it to.
Right.
Or, I guess in that situation, if a guy was like, you can't take a picture of this person that you just tattooed, meaning the woman that he was with, yeah, that's a red flag. Why can't I take a picture of the tattoo I just did? You know, and I don't, I mean, I'm a street shop, so there's definitely tattoos that I do because I'm right outside of Trenton, New Jersey, that are like, do a lot of crowns, for instance,
Right.
a lot of crowns in red ink. Like, I mean, what exactly does that mean? You things like that.
Right. And look, I think that most people would be more than on the same page of, hey, look, if you saw something, say something type of situation. But it also states in there that, you're not held liable whether you do or you don't. Thank you, Sarah, for the $5 super chat. Much appreciated. You know, I don't think that anybody, for example, wants you to put yourself in jeopardy, whether it's, financially or physically, right? Like you don't
I
want
mean,
to.
I question the effectiveness of this because I imagine that, I mean, it's really well-meaning, right? I'm the father of daughters. I mean, I don't. Human trafficking is just they're scum. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I would think that like most criminal organizations, they're going to have their own in-house tattooers that know exactly what's happening and have signed off on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But, for whatever reason, I don't know. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. What, what about somebody that is being held, basically, already has the tattoo, but you're doing another tattoo and you see it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But I get what you're
I
saying
mean,
as well. I mean, typically those people are going to have their own in-house people to do tattoos. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you, man. Like, I don't know how. I guess the way they're figuring it is if it helps one person, it's did its job. You know what I mean?
so I worked outside of a military base, did my first shop, and at one point, uh, a delivery driver of a local pizza place that was owned by people of Turkish descent was arrested by the FBI because he had purchased weapons and was going to use his pizza delivery on the base to fire on soldiers. This was a real thing that happened at Fort Dix and McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey. And then after that, I was tattooing captain in the Air Force, and there was sort of this casual conversation of, would you report? Would you
Mm.
report? And it wasn't like it wasn't like you know he wasn't asking me to be some kind of agent or anything, but there was definitely this feeling that because a local business had been involved in what was ultimately a terrorist plot, right? He
Yeah.
was planning to shoot up the base. It made sense to me that the military would send out people to kind of take the temperature of local business owners. And I, of course, was like, well, I would never have anything to report. So, no, I
Right.
wouldn't report.
You know, I feel like this is gonna be, I think, gonna come up more and more as time goes with this. But I was trying to see here this article that I have right now that I pulled up. It's on Yahoo. I didn't even know they were still around. Uh, but this was also on multiple different websites or whatever. So it's not just Yahoo. But in the one earlier, I said that it looked to me like there was going to be more than one state that was going to try to do this. So I think this is going to be something that's going to wind up happening throughout the United States. So this is, I guess, more like, all right, look, it's here. This is what they're doing. This is how it kind of is, and be prepared because it sounds to me like everybody's going to wind up having to sit and do this 1 hour course sooner or later. And like I said, I don't think anybody's going to disagree with it. It sounds like it's a good thing. I'm with Justin. I just don't know what it's gonna, how effective it's gonna wind up being. Um,
I mean, it seems really well. I mean, it's well intentioned,
for sure.
right? Like nobody is pro human trafficking, but at the same time, I mean, I'm not an agent of the state either. I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
I
I
see what
mean,
you're
we
saying.
live as tattooers. A lot of us live kind of in a gray area. You know, I don't. I don't. I don't make sure that my clients are law-abiding citizens. It's none of my business whether they're law-abiding citizens or not.
Right, but if you saw something, man, you don't even need a law. You would be like, all right, man, what do I do in this situation? It's
Yeah.
not, it's common sense, dude. And I think that that's, right now, I would say that a majority of the people would say the same thing. If, hey, man, if I saw something, I'm going to say something.
Yeah, as far as like human trafficking, but I mean, if I get a kid in here, if I get a 20-year-old kid that's dressed real nice, is on his phone constantly talking all sus, and has a big knot of money, I mean, I'm not stupid,
Yeah,
but I'm,
you're not going to put yourself in danger just to be like
yeah,
Johnny, police guy. You know what
right,
I mean? Like, look, the bottom line is, I think the last part I wanted to talk about with this is, I know there's a very anti snitch kind of thing going on, but this is not that type of situation,
yeah.
dude.
This isn't that
This
type of
is
situation.
totally not that. So I would hope that anybody that's listening to this or whatever, sees something like this, they would speak up, man, because, just think of it like, I always look at stuff like, hey, man, what if that was my
I,
mom or
yeah,
sister or wife or daughter or whatever? You're like, you would want somebody to say something. So that's all,
absolutely,
it
yeah.
was definitely worth bringing over it. Yeah, Chris Hawkins just said he's over it, meaning the snow. I think that would be pretty much the rest of us, dude. I think we are all sick of it, man. I would like it to be at least goddamn 20 degrees one of these days. I mean, uh,
I'm really hoping Phil sees his shadow tomorrow.
is
I'm
that tomorrow?
really, I believe it's tomorrow. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, look, dude, I grew up kind of close to that whole thing with that damn groundhog,
Uh huh.
and that it doesn't matter. But
That's just a that's just a huge 3-day drunk fest, right?
oh yeah, big time, big time. I know people did do, there's groups that do trips to that, which is nuts because that town's
Yep.
tiny, man, tiny little town.
Yeah,
Um,
it's Monday tomorrow.
but man, here on the Northeast, we're supposed to get hit either. I think it's like either Thursday or Friday. It's just nuts, man. I'm done. I'm sick of it. Let's bring on the summer, man, or at least spring, dude. Uh,
Didn't
I'm
we have
itching.
like didn't we have a bunch of winters that were really mild in a row though?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we were due
Yeah,
for it, dude. It's been like 5 or 6 years since we've gotten a good snowstorm. So it is what it
all of
is.
it.
What's up, RC? RC hanging out. I got a
What's
pretty
up, RC?
phenomenal box off of RC yesterday of some awesome, awesome, not only tattoo magazines from back in the day, but national newsletters that used to come out. Pretty awesome stuff to see. Me and Justin are gonna pick through that bad boy this week one day, probably either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how I feel. Still feeling a little shitty right now, but that'll be some cool stuff to talk about, not only on our live stream, man, but for me getting together some history episodes. So should be pretty interesting, man. Yeah. So you want to get into the second topic?
Talking about just real quick, talking about national for guys that don't know. When I first started tattooing in the '90s, there weren't that many tattoo supply houses that were uh, as big as National. There was Spalding and Rogers, and there was National Tattoo Supply. There were little regional ones, but the thing with Spalding is Huck would sell to anybody that wanted a tattoo kit. Huck's
Yeah.
got you. That's
Yeah.
where I bought my first tattoo kit. Whereas with National, you had to have someone vouch for you. right?
Yeah.
They were much truer to that part of the art. You know what I mean? And you got to respect that. Like it was frustrating to me as a new guy
Right.
not being able to, because Huck didn't always sell the best equipment or ink or needles, but
Well, yeah, I mean, I've heard that from multiple tattoo artists, though, where they have said that, specifically the whole national thing, how you had to know somebody, you had to be sponsored by somebody even to just get
yeah,
into it. So,
yeah,
uh, one of the things that I found interesting, and we'll get into the second topic here in a second, but one of the things I found interesting while RC and I were going through some of that stuff is, on the newsletters where they talked about like, hey, this person's a 10-year guy, this person's a 5-year guy, this person's, and on top of that, man, they had like announcements like, dude, the one that I actually picked up first, it had Shotzi and his wife announcing the birth of their first child in there. So those newsletters were really about embracing the community of it.
yeah.
It was more than just, hey man, here's some supply catalogs and here's some stuff. There
Here's a
was
new flash I
actual,
drew.
yeah, like there was, good articles and stuff like that. And then like the cool, like, Justin French just opened up a second shop in, Levittown or whatever. Like there was cool stuff like that, man. To me, just by that quick boom boom of looking through it, you could see the community aspect of it that looked like it was pretty amazing back then.
I mean, it is like that first Philadelphia Tattoo Convention, right? 150 of the world's greatest artists.
Yeah.
I mean, they all knew each other. I mean, there was definitely static between some of them. There were little different camps, but I mean, they all knew each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Christ, you go to Philly now, it's 150 in the first row.
Yeah,
And that was funny too, man, is, when I did that interview with Charlie, Good Time Charlie, and he was talking about how, Jack and Paco wanted them to do the conventions or whatever. And Charlie was like, dude, why would I go to a convention? I know guys that were across the street from each other didn't even want to talk to each other. Why would I fly somewhere to go and have 100 dudes in a room that don't want to talk to me? So it's kind of interesting how obviously as that thing grew and got bigger and bigger and bigger, how the mentality changed as well. So,
yeah.
so let's get into this. This is kind of on the verge of scary for me. This is right up there with face recognition stuff. But let's go to this. I'm
Even
going to
worse.
share the screen. Yeah, it's worse for us because we're tattooed people. But this actually came out of Temple Business Law, which is nuts, man. That's here locally from me and Justin. Tattoo recognition technology gaining acceptance as a crime-solving technique. What they're going to do is tattoos offer a wealth of information gleaned through a simple visual examination. This visualization can help police evaluate the tattoo's location, design, colors, and other physical characteristics to identify a person. Tattoos are also helpful in identifying a corpse, where more traditional tools such as facial features and fingerprints are unsuitable. Criminals are often known to cut off. We can't talk about that. So let's just jump into the meat of the story here because I don't want to get myself too jammed up. I may have already done that. Now, Justin and I had already said, for you fortunate enough people that have never been arrested, if you're tattooed, typically you're going to get pictures taken of your tattoos.
Spin around.
This is not something new. What
Right.
this is, though, is more of the Big Brother type of situation where you live in a city, New York, pretty heavily camered out, can literally scope through a crowd and see a tattoo, and then all of a sudden it's scanning and going into a database and going, hey man, there's that fat dude Buck from Tattoos and Review walking down Fifth Ave.
So this is the other part of it, right? So when I see certain people online showing off their tattoos, so a lot of them hide their faces, right? For whatever reason, they hide their faces. But let's say that guy, before he got into a lifestyle, had gotten tattooed 10 years ago when he had no idea what his future held. And there's a picture of the dragon that he got tattooed on his arm when he was 18. That's going to be in the database because of the power of AI. It's not that they can look at the tattoos that you have presently, they can catalog every tattoo that you've ever gotten.
Right.
You know what I mean? When artists publish their tattoos, I mean, there's, it's an AI, like, I mean, the thing about AI is it sorts through billions, what is it, like hundreds of millions of data bytes a second, right?
Something crazy like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Drag
So,
just said tattoos can be changed and they can't make updates always, which is
mm,
true. It is true. But I think that I would say it's more prevalent in Europe that they have more of the facial recognition and all that other stuff going on.
you know what I
Uh,
mean?
I don't know here, but you know,
I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to put on a tinfoil hat, right? But, but the youngsters are a snitch generation, right? Facebook is the ultimate tool to find out what everybody's doing 24/7. And Instagram, all the filter stuff, right? Take a picture of yourself. Look what you're going to look like in 10 years. Take a picture of yourself as a dog. If you think that information isn't being fed into a database somewhere to improve facial recognition techniques, then you're naive.
well, I mean, dude, you look at any technology, swayed magazine like CNET, stuff like that. They're telling you flat out, don't do that stuff that's on like Facebook and Instagram and whatever, because that stuff is gonna. That's exactly what they're saying. Now, look, we don't know if any of that's true or not, but I would always err on the side of caution anyway. I mean,
Right.
you know, it's just crazy to me that we're putting this much effort into something like this. Um, when we can't even handle half the shit we're doing now anyway. So, and I'll just leave it at that.
So, I mean, Joe, I mean, you're a huge fan of Joe. For people that don't know, Buck is a huge fan of Joe Rogan. And Buck got me into watching Joe Rogan because he's a smart dude. And he did an episode about the TikTok agreement, what
Mm,
you're agreeing to when you install TikTok on your phone. And it's incredibly invasive. You actually agree to let them monitor your keystrokes when you're not on their site. So you're
mm,
giving them permission to monitor everything you do on whatever device you have it installed on.
yeah.
And who reads
So
those agreements?
I haven't watched Joe in quite some time. He started getting a little too political for me, but when they like they used to have that dude Graham. I can't think of his last name, man. That he was the guy that did like the ancient aliens type of stuff, where they were talking about
Yeah.
like how they think there was a technology thing here, and then we had a little world cataclysmic event and it reset everything or whatever, man. I always enjoyed those types of conversations, man, because I feel like they're getting a little deeper into discussions that I think people pass over a lot.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
pyramids
not
of batteries.
yeah, man, like not to veer off too far off the subject, but I was watching this thing on Instagram today when I was looking at some other topics to for future shows, and man, I saw this thing where they were talking about, how there's like the big thing about the cornucopia and Fruit of the Loom's not there anymore, but it used to be. And there's the movie Shazam that they claim was never made. Well, then,
The Berenstein Bears.
yeah. So the new one that I saw today was. I'm going to ask you a question first,
Okay.
and then I'll get into it because this is going to be interesting.
They should never have started the CERN super collider.
Well, ironically enough, that's part of this discussion, real quick. But
Hmm.
let me ask you a question: Was Eli Whitney black or white? Eli Whitney, the guy that made the cotton gin.
It's a white dude.
Really?
Yeah.
See, there was multiple people on that thread that were like, "Mondo, thank you, brother. Much appreciated, man, for the $5 super chat." A bunch of people, including myself, that were like, we were taught in high school that Eli Whitney was black. And a majority of the people said that. And now they're saying that he's white. And now, I don't know. I don't know what to think now. I don't know what's true and what's not. But then, hear me out on
Because you,
that.
because
So,
you remember it one way, right?
but here's the thing. So I thought maybe that was the case, right? Maybe I was like, oh, maybe I'm getting it mixed up because they said maybe you're getting it mixed up with Carver, who was the guy that did the Peanuts thing, right?
Peanut butter. Yeah, peanut butter.
Okay. So I was like, oh, so maybe so then I started second guessing myself. And then somebody put lyrics up from KRS-One, the rapper. Do you remember him? I mean, I know you're not big into rap, but do you remember that dude? He was
Yeah.
pretty big in the 80s. They
By any
actually
means necessary.
they put the dude's lyrics on the screen and it said about Eli Whitney being black. And they were like, and then the joke underneath it was, oh, they forgot to scrub lyrics to songs. So I don't know, man. They were going to the CERN Collider thing, saying that there's in 2017, it seems like where all this stuff started to happen, there was a branch off, and that's where the split happened. I don't know,
Yeah, there
dude.
was
I
a
think
reset.
that's a little too tinfoil hatty for me, but I thought it was interesting. What's up,
I mean,
Kamikaze? How's it going? Huck Spalding. So this is from Justin Schmidt. Huck Spalding kits were very influential to all of us that we were teens in the early 2000s. And he put Huck, not Hick. So yeah, well,
so
that's what Justin was saying was like, there's a lot of people that got their stuff from Huck at Jump. But
I mean, I even got a T-shirt with the Paul Rogers dragon on it that said "tattoo artist," in case you weren't sure.
when you got the order,
Yeah, this part this part is there were two starter kits. There was the more expensive one that had the autoclave, and the middle one that had the heat clave.
yeah.
And but
Bill
I'm
O'Connell with
both
the five
got
dollar
the
super chat. Thank you.
uh,
Much.
I'm both you got the T-shirt and the little certificate. The little certificate. This studio is equipped with the best, most sophisticated equipment in the tattoo industry.
That's funny, man. So did you get something with like every order?
No, no. When you bought the starter kit,
Oh,
you
okay.
got you got two machines, needles, your sterilization stuff, the book, the book that
Gotcha.
shall not be named, because I'm a gatekeeper. Uh, two, I think mine was I got Spalding Supreme frames
Okay.
because that was before the Pumas came out, and like 5 or 6 sheets of flash.
So there you go. Um,
Got some Carrie Barber stuff, some Nolan stuff,
yeah.
picture machine.
So RC did make a comment about the national. So he said national newsletters were essential to our community. I was at the 1984 convention. It ended early for Sal Testa's wedding. So there you go. I mean, that's what I mean. It's like to me, there was a lot more community mixed into that, and that to me seemed really cool. Like that would have been awesome to be a part of, and Justin can say yes or no, but that was basically RC's thing. Was like, yeah, man, I missed that. That was really cool. I've heard other people say that too. Justin Smith said, I still own the digital copy of his books.
Yep.
Speaking of digital copy, when we were at the Philadelphia Tattoo Convention, they had that end cap where it had a bunch of books. and it had a book on there. It was like Flash of the Bowery or something like that. I think that was the name of the book. And I picked it up because I was like, oh man, this looks pretty cool. But then it looked like it might have been used. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. But Tattoo Exmo hooked me up with a digital copy today. I haven't checked it out yet, but I'm looking forward to flipping through that to see what that was. Because when I did like kind of peel it open, it had like a bunch of cool like Flash from. It looked like Wagner, Joe Lieber, Moskowitz, stuff like that in there. So it's definitely going to be worthy of checking out. And if it's cool, man, I mean, that maybe if you can still buy it, maybe that's something I buy. Justin Smet said his cheapest set in 2003 was like $300.
I think
Justin
I
actually looking for a set. Which set were you looking for, dude? You still don't know? You thought it was D, right? The D set?
oh yeah. Here, give me a second. Can I run and can I run and look?
Yeah, I'll go through some of the comments.
All right.
So we got Mondo hanging out with us. We got Nathan Kistner hanging out. Got Luz. Got moderator Nikki. We got Steven Street. Got Drag hanging out with us tonight. We got OG Sarah. We got Chris Hawkins hanging with us tonight. And I like everybody coming in here saying hello to everybody. That makes it awesome. We got RC hanging. And Kamikaze, Justin Smet. So we got a decent crowd in here tonight. We got a couple people hanging that aren't in chat, which is always fine. We don't mind. But if you can, hit that like for us real quick on the stream. Maybe it'll push it out to some other people. I keep forgetting to mention that every time we stream. But it does help us, man. Our numbers go up when we get that like button popping. So Justin is actually looking for a particular set of the Spalding and Rogers. It's more 70s biker centric, and he was asking me if RC had it.
So
Okay, so Chris Hawkins just said Schiffer Books has it, the Bowery Tattoo Flash book. Go ahead, Justin.
it's the B set.
The B set.
It's B, yeah.
So if anybody out there is in the interwebs and you have Spalding and Rogers Flash Set B, hit Justin up. Justin Smet
Go ahead.
said Huck Spalding Tattooing A to Z is the main one people would get with his kits. That was the book that Justin said is the book to not be named. It is the
So-
yeah, I don't. What was that dude's name from? I never. I'm not a real big Harry Potter fan. Who was the dude that you weren't supposed to talk about?
Oh, Voldemort.
There you go.
Voldemort.
Dude, I actually started rewatching Game of Thrones since the new Seven Kingdoms or whatever started on
Not the
HBO.
Seven Kingdoms.
I like it so far, man. I mean, you know. So I started rewatching. You know what I didn't like, dude? Self-admittedly, and
What?
I'll probably go back and watch it. But I watched the first 2 seasons of the last one, the Dragon, whatever. I thought it was a little slow, it was a little draggy.
Did you
What's up,
did you ever
Harsh?
see Chappelle's? Did you ever see Chappelle's take on it?
Nah.
Where he did all his famous characters like the crackhead and the pimp.
Nah.
And they were like other Targaryens.
Hey, you know what,
So
man?
just
While we're all in here, let me see if I can get this to pop, man. I don't remember how I did that.
so just as a blast from the past, at least for those who can see this, this was the 35th. Oops. This was the 35th anniversary Spalding catalog. My copy is this is the spine of it here, somewhat beaten up. And then this was the one when I bought my first kit in 1990, 1980, no, 1996, I think.
So I just gave out 5 free memberships to our channel. Cool, man. 2 people actually got them that are listeners or regulars in here. Sam Haim with Pipes And Ghost Marking's got 2 of the gifted memberships this time around, which is awesome, man. We're trying to do some more cool stuff in the members section. Basically, what that is it's priming us for the episodes that I do for Tattoo Artist Magazine that I can't show to everybody. It's not us crash grabbing or anything like that, but it's us just trying to get that together so people can actually see the any of the episodes that I do for TAM. Matter of fact, we're going to be doing one. I'm working on it right now, the Brandon Feldman episode, and that is going to be in the March episode of Tattoo Artist Magazine. They are doing a machine builders episode, so that'll be my contribution to that. But yeah, so if anybody has the B set, let Justin know. What's your Instagram, Justin?
Enzo 13.
There you go. Justin Smet said, laugh out loud, Justin, I might be a bit younger than y'all, but Huck Spalding was influential with a lot of us teens in early 2Ks and can write a letter and get his catalog. Yeah. Nah, we get it, man. We get it.
So,
Nobody's bashing on Huck and
oh, not at all, man. Not at all. I mean, without Huck Spalding, I wouldn't be a tattooer.
there you go.
I mean, I lived up there in upstate New York. I went right to his store,
Yeah.
his little store. And the funny thing is, I was expecting all these like heavy tattooed dudes, long hair, big beards, to be working in his machine shop, and it was just normal machine guys,
Yeah,
just
man. I
normal
mean,
9 to
dude,
5 machinists.
you know, machinist is actually one of those trades out there that pays really, really well. If you're
And
younger
if
and you're
anybody,
looking for a trade where you're not like breaking your back every day, machinist trade's actually pretty decent. You do a little apprenticeship, man, and once you become full, journeyman, dude, you're making $40 an hour or higher. That's good money.
so if anybody's actually interested, his nephews still own Spalding Tattooing in Albany, I think. And if you contact them, they're pretty willing to work with people about his machines and inks and his flash and his books. I mean, they're really hooking people up now.
Yeah, didn't
Swagger,
Swaggart go? Yeah, he went up there, man, and
yeah,
got like a bunch of ink and stuff like that off of them, right?
yeah. So RC would probably know this more than I would, but from what I understand, the number red, not the number 9 red pigment from Spalding was like legendary. That's like that's like a coveted red.
So I know you can't read it, so I'll read it out loud real quick. RC said my first stuff was Spalding and Rogers, paid for by my stripper old ladies' dollar bills. True story.
Absolutely. If it ain't covered in glitter, is it real money? That's what I'm saying.
You heathens, dude. Bunch of heathens, dude. Um, yeah, so I mean, what do you guys think about the 2 subjects that we talked about tonight, man? I mean, give us your thoughts on the first one that we talked about with the Hope for Ink project, man. I mean, do you want to see something like that be all across the United States, man? I think it's beneficial. I don't know how impactful it's going to be, but I'm curious to see what everybody in chat thinks about that. Justin Smet said, I will say Spalding frames were great and now are hard to come by, and wasn't a fan of Mickey Sharp frames.
I mean, I have a few. Just
Mickey
saying.
Sharps?
No, well, yeah, I've for a while Mickey Sharps. They were my daily drivers. I bought them from RJ at the New York convention. RJ and Dottie were the people that would sell them. Were the people that were selling them stateside. And
Okay.
they were always good to talk to you. They were always good to if you needed springs or new coils or whatever. But they were like my step up machines. You guys got to understand that when I worked in my first tattoo shop, like the youngsters talk about gatekeeping, and I mean I hate to keep referring to him, but like RC will probably know what I'm talking about. I mean, the guys that taught me, if they heard my machines running rough, at first, they would take them in the back room and tune them and, clean them and do everything that they had to do to them to get them back up into shape. I wasn't actually invited to see the machines being tuned or the machines being with the emery cloth. That was a couple months at least.
Right.
I mean, yeah,
So Stephen Street said Mickey Sharps was highly influential.
yeah.
Justin Smith said, "I will agree, Stephen, but very high priced for Mickey Sharps." I don't know none of that. That all just went. I mean, I understand the machines obviously, but I don't know about prices and any of that stuff. So, you guys, that would be a conversation for you all to have. But those are also some of the conversations and cool stuff that I want to be, happening on the community page, man. So these are all cool stuff that we could talk about, like you just, especially you guys that are tattoo artists, man, be able to throw out different things back and forth to each other.
The
Obviously
thing
we're not
that
going to talk about, but
the thing that was good about a Mickey Sharps is that if it was running rough, you actually didn't even have to tune it. You just bounced it off the ground a couple times, and it would just work great.
Stephen Street said an amazing tattooist too. So, um, man, like I always hear people talk about like the Shaw machines and stuff like that. Were they more expensive?
Well, I think the Mickey Sharps were around $300,
Okay.
and I'm not sure what Eddie was selling the swing gates for, and I don't exactly remember what the Supreme frames for. I want to say the Supreme machines were around 160 or $200.
Okay.
There was actually a machine that Huck sold that was fully engraved.
Okay.
It was a Supreme frame, but it was fully engraved. Oh, it was beautiful.
Well, I mean, dude, that's big money to do engraving, so that ain't cheap at all.
Yeah.
Justin Smet said, I was taught how to tune my machines, but I don't know how to make needles. Yeah, well, depending on when you got in on that, Justin, I think, what would you say? Like the late 90s would have been the end of that time frame?
Yeah, I mean, once the supply houses were making needles for people, and I mean, I knew people, for instance, in Jersey, there was Dermographics, and I mean, you could get a job like in the off season if things slowed down. You could get a job in the Dermographics needle room. You know what I mean? They were pretty good about that,
Yeah.
and yeah, you just need your needle jigs and your bars and pins.
So Stephen Street said in 1993, two machines from him were about 400 Great British pounds. So that would probably be closer to 500 for us in the U.S. Our dollar is a little lacking these days, so the conversion rate's not real good. But yeah, I'm always curious about that, man. Like with prices and stuff like that. And look, it's not something I look up on a regular basis because why would I?
All right, give me a second.
Okay. I just, man, I know they're not cheap. I don't know how much the new, wands are either. I'm sure they can't be cheap as well. It's funny because, well, it's not funny actually, but I was talking about RC yesterday. He just happened to mention something about cartridges, and then I saw something within the last week where they were talking about needles coming out of cartridges. That doesn't sound safe, man. I mean, Justin Spett said he started it in 2016. But going back to the cartridges thing, that made me a little woo when I read that. I don't think it happens that often, but I guess that could happen when somebody doing their own needles as well, but I doubt it. Especially if you're sitting there doing the soldering on it. But I didn't see anybody answer about the first article we talked about tonight, man. What your thoughts were on that? So,
So
what about the second
my
article?
My Spalding price catalogs weren't where I thought they were. So maybe next week I'll be able to drag them out. Because what
Okay.
he used to do is he had the color catalog, which showed you what everything was, and then he had like a separate price catalog.
Right. And these are all old stuff, so it's not like we're giving out the secrets.
No,
You know, I mean, I see guys these days, selling machines and stuff like that, and I always go, wow, they look cool, but I don't pay attention to the prices and stuff like that because, again, why would I?
listen,
Um,
if you're new to tattooing, just go on Amazon. Those if you're new, those six machines that you get for $72, they run awesome. They're the best.
I don't think anybody can detect your car sarcasm.
uh,
Justin Smet said he started in 2016 for learning, but not a professional tattooer. So there you go. Um, yeah, man. I think that as we dig through these boxes that RC gave me, not only, dude, the magazines look pretty awesome as well, man. I haven't seen some of those magazines in a long time, dude. I see the new ones like Inked magazine every once in a while, but like the old school tattoo magazine and stuff like that, and Easy
like
Riders.
international. Really?
Yeah, well, he said he goes. He said I kept the first one of the Easy Rider and I was like, well, yeah, dude, like,
Yeah.
and he was like, no, it didn't have a cover and stuff because we used that as a reference and whatnot back in the day. But yeah, man, there's some pretty cool stuff in there, man. We'll go through it this week, dude, and filter through it. Um,
If I
if
knew you
anything,
were interested, if I knew you were interested in that, I mean, I have a bunch of magazines too. I never realized you were interested.
well,
I
man,
got a funny, I got a funny story about tattoo magazines.
go ahead.
So there was a magazine called Tattoo, right? And in the back of tattoo magazines, there were like 3 or 4 pages of flash every issue, right? So I'm flipping through and I find this like sort of tribal face that looks like it's screaming in agony. And I think this is a pretty good design. And I put it on the back of my head, right? And then one night, a couple years later, I'm watching a documentary about prison gangs in like Arizona. And apparently they had the same tattoo magazine and thought the same tattoo was pretty dope because that became like their sign.
Yeah, I
Like completely unrelated, man. And I was like, all right, note to self: never go to jail in Arizona.
it's so yeah, man. Like I like to see the old magazines because it has maybe some tattoo artists that are known now that were maybe younger back then and stuff like that, but also to see just the growth of the type of tattoos and stuff like that as well. I was more, I guess, interested in the national newsletters, man, because once I started to
Absolutely.
realize what was in that stuff, dude, I was like, man, this is pretty freaking awesome. Because it had articles in there like where they were, like of historical significance. But then it had the list of names and who was involved and who wasn't, and how long they, 1986, these people were 10-year people. They also had people listed as couples, like, which made me laugh because they had Philadelphia Eddie and Penny. Um, but then they also had people that were from the UK and stuff like that. So it's a pretty awesome list of people to look through. Bill O'Connell said, I have a tattoo that was in the Flash section of Tattoo Magazine done in 1995.
Absolutely.
Stephen Street said, Old Tattoo Magazine was hilarious. Yeah, man.
I mean, some of the so in my mind there was tattoo, and then their skin and ink and international tattoo art were a little. They were a little. Their grade of tattooing was a little better, but there really was a time where if you put a mark on somebody, it was probably going to end up in tattoo magazines. I mean, some of the in tattoo magazines,
Yeah, well,
some of
that's
the
what
stuff in there is so primitive, man.
RC said, man, look at some of these tattoos. I mean, some of these are horrible. Yeah, well, you
Yeah.
know, I don't know what requirements were back then to get in some of those magazines, but obviously some people slid in under the radar. Stephen Street said I was in it in 1994. That's cool, man. Were you as a like, you know, contestant or at a convention or something, or did you got a tattoo done and the artist put it on there? See, these are the kind of stories I want to hear about, man. This is the good stuff, dude. This is the stuff that you know, our community has all these great stories to tell.
Have you ever seen the Have you ever seen the picture of me with the mohawk?
Yeah,
The picture of me and my oldest daughter's mom from the I think it was from the Am Jam.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
they put us in the magazine.
Stephen Street said the portrait section.
Nice.
Yeah, well, when we were down in Asbury Park for the Asbury Park convention, the dude was taking pictures for some like rockabilly. Remember that dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, Justin's very photogenic.
So at this convention, I'm like, you know, I'm a youngster. I'm like 25, and I'd been getting tattooed for a number of years before I picked up my machines, and I had a huge mohawk that was held up by Aquanet. Like, I mean, it was big enough to where if I got into a car, it would like be pushed over. And this dude came up behind me with a lighter and was fucking around with one of the Liberty spikes, right? So I turned around with my hand cocked, and then I looked at like what he was wearing, and I was like, oh, sorry. I
Yeah,
put my hands up, and he showed me a lot of respect. He shook my hand. He was like, I wasn't trying to set you on fire, dude. And I was
dude. I tell you what, if I had hair now, I'd be rocking a mohawk or at least some version
uh,
of it. I wouldn't be doing the crazy, all 10-foot high spikes or whatever, but I'd have the like Chuck Liddell thing. I'd rock
so
that.
I mean, do you have like when you don't shave your head? Do you have hair on the sides and back, or is it
Yeah, dude. I got the hair donut.
you got the donut,
Yeah, dude. I got the donut. It
the
sucks.
monk? Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah. No,
The,
I'm beyond the Friar Tuck, dude. I got like up here, up here, dude. Is definitely my wavy hair done wave goodbye. So, which is crazy because like doesn't run on my mom's side,
right.
and it definitely my dad, he was thinner or whatever, but it wasn't like that. The weird thing about my dad was is he actually had gray hair when he was like 30. So I didn't get gray hair until I was 40 something. And it started with a badass skunk stripe. I thought that's what it was going to be the rest of the time. And then the rest went poof. Bill O'Connell said, I won first place black and gray tattoo with the tattoo in 1996. I was done by Uncle Bud Yates in Colorado Springs. Ooh, there you go. That's a good pull right there, man. Yates. I haven't heard that name in a while. But anyway, man, I know we veered off a little bit tonight, but sometimes those are the best discussions for me and Justin.
Absolutely.
I, you know, hope you all have a safe, happy week. We'll be back on Sunday. I'm going to be busting my ass this week to try to get this Brandon Feldman episode done. I know Pim, I did the interview with Pim. She interviewed me last Tuesday. I don't know when that episode is going to be out on her Old Crow show that she has on YouTube. She's starting to do a bunch of really good, man. She's already got a bunch of really good heavy hitters that she's interviewed already. She even did Lau Hardy, which is cool because her and Lau go back to the 70s together. But I hope you all have a safe, happy week, man. Next week we'll be in the shop as long as it's not the goddamn frozen tundra out there. And hopefully we can get back on track, man. So peace out, everybody. Have a good, safe week.
Everybody stay safe. It was good being with you.